In today's video, I'm going to show you how we do these sill boards. We've got splay cuts on, we're going to be using a router, we're going to be putting a nice bullnose on there, and to add to that, make a little bit more detail, we're going to be putting some architrave around the perimeter of the window. So stay tuned, let's see how we'll get on. Tools I'm going to use in this job: second fix gun, track saw, very important, face mask, handsaw, sliding bevel, and obviously a DeWalt track for the track saw. Let's get into this. Right, what I'm going to do is measure the widest point, 1180. Then I'm going to add 100mm on because I want a 50mm overhang here and a 50mm overhang here. And then measure the width to the front of the plasterboard. And then I'm going to add 20mm on for another overhang. Gonna look sweet. Right, so now that I've got a cut, what I've done is I've measured to the center of the window board or windowsill or whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to measure this window from plaster to plaster is 1.5 meters. So then using that measurement, you'll half it and then go from the center line on your window board, halfway that way, halfway the other way, and that'll give you the width of your window, and then that's when you do your splay cut, go outwards. I'll show you now. So I've measured from plaster to plaster on the window, and then I've measured to the center of the window board. Now using half the width of the window, you'll go from the center line, which was 502.5, and then go from there 1.5 meters. Yeah, so that's your window now. And the reason I've done that is to centralize the window board so that when you do your splay cuts, you get this equal amount of overhang on here and here. That's why it's really important to get the center of the window board in the center of the window. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to use my bevel to get the angle of the splay cuts, and then I'll show you the next cut. Right guys, here's your bevel. Using the back edge, push it up against the window and slide it into the plaster. Transfer that onto your window board, but don't forget, what you have to do is measure from the window to the front here where it's going to wrap around. So what I've got here is 309. I'm going to transfer these over and then we're going to do some cutting. 309. And then you just go square off that. I'm going to use the straight edge of the handsaw to extend the splay cut because the bevel's only so long. And it should look a bit like that. Can you see that? Yeah. Do that on both sides, cut with a handsaw, round the edge off. Bob's your uncle and Fanny is your aunt. cut it right, it should look a bit like that. So let's try it in. Oh, that is lovely. Have a look. Nice big overhang here because we're going to have some architrave around, like I said before. I'm going to be using this style. It's going to look so good. So we'll get this fixed in place, get some architraves on, and then we'll see what it looks like. Right, use my little combination square now that I've got the sill in. Now I'm only temporarily putting it in because I'm waiting for the builder to come back with some timber where I can fix a batten to the window so that when I put the board in, it sits on the batten and the front of this timber here. So it's got a solid fix and it's not going to sag or anything like that. But while he's doing that, I'm just going to leave it in. I've used the level this way, and I've used my little boat level the opposite way. So I know it's level that way and that way. So using that, I'm just going to leave it sitting there. I'm going to use my combination square and mark a little margin all the way around the window. This is going to give us a little profile to work off when I'm marking the architraves, if you get me. So I'll just offer this up onto here, mark the architrave, and then that's where you're going to get 45-degree angle back on itself. Right, line it up with the margins. Get it nailed up. I'm just going to use PVA for these joints because it was too big to stick together with a mitre glue. And just offer it up. Get it nailed in. And using the combination square, just make sure that the margin's the same all the way down. Right. Because the plaster isn't sitting very good, cut some wedges to sit behind to bring it flush. Keep them wedges there for a bit till it dries. Then just repeat the process and do the other side. Right, so we found some timber and all I've done is rip a bit of 6x2 down to act as the catch for the back of the sill board. I'm just going to fix it to the window now. Couple of nails to hold it in place, and I'm going to screw it up. Then, so I've put the batten on, architraves are done. Let's get the window board on, fix it in place, and then we'll move on to the next one. Let's get them all trimmed up. Yes guys, and that is how you trim out a window and fit a window board. If you found this useful, or you've got some sort of inspiration to do this to your home to make it look brilliant, then like this video, subscribe, drop a comment and follow on for the next videos coming up. See you later.